Sweet, beautiful souls, welcome back. Do we ever have a really fascinating and big topic to talk about? And we are going to be diving into today presence versus meditation, the difference, and honestly, why I have traded one for the other over my years and over my time. And this may seem like a basic understanding if you're into the spiritual world, but this is going to be packed with so much value and insight and wisdom to support you in your growth and evolution and journey because I do not want to waste your time. And so if you are here, buckle up, know that there is a profound and deep reason why your soul has led you here. And this understanding gets to be felt and remembered. And this is honestly something, a lot of these things that I share with you all are things that I wish I would have known so much earlier on. It would have made my life so much easier. It would have made it just, there's so much confusion, so much misunderstanding, so many things that we really get in our head about. And my job, my intention is to lessen that for you because there is always going to be something to be learned and gleaned and received from trial and error, especially if you are a three line in human design like myself. But when we can have this awareness and these understandings of where we're going to be on the other side of this journey and rather of the small iterations within the journey, where we will be on the other side, where this will take us, where we will find ourselves after we complete this part and then the next part and the next part and the next part. And everyone's journey is going to be a little bit different, but there are universal things that we can begin to understand that will help us pave the path a bit smoother because it can be difficult. Like, let's just put it out there. Life can be difficult. Life can be difficult, especially when you, in fact, even more difficult when you are on a spiritual journey. Being on a spiritual journey, we are all on a spiritual journey, but for those of us who are really embracing it, here's the thing about that is it will make the easy things and the things that are in alignment so much easier, so much more rewarding, and so much more joyous. However, the things that we are overcoming, they're hard. They're going to be harder for people who are embracing the spiritual journey because you are declaring that you are ready and open to receive more and to become more and to ascend and to help others on this journey too. And so with that, you have to overcome some of those barriers and those beliefs and those limitations. And so it's going to be harder, plain and simple, but you signed up for this. And something that I have really come to see and remember within myself is that we actually wouldn't want it easy. We wouldn't want it all easy. So there's so much, like if there's also, man, we're just leading up to this. This feels really important to bring through is that anything that we are working really hard towards, we get to keep. The things that just come really easy, we don't often value them. We don't often nurture them and really understand them deeply. So anything that you are working really, really hard towards in your life, and I don't even like that. It's like something, I don't like that terminology, something that you are really devoting to in your life. When you get there, the reward is 10 times more satiating. It is sweeter. It fulfills you in such a deep way. And whatever skill sets and knowledge and wisdom you extracted and learned along the journey, you get to keep. You have now embodied and you have become. So there's someone who really needs to know that and to remember that is that, it can be really easy to compare our journey to other people and like, why is it so easy for Susie and Johnny P? Like, why are they naturally healthy? Why are they naturally wealthy? Why do they just find the love of their life? Like, it can be really easy to play that comparison game, but we don't know their soul's journey. We don't know what their soul wanted to experience in this life. And like we all come in with a reoccurring soul lesson that we are here to learn, and our lives are going to be shaped around that. And we have multiple lifetimes that we go through to learn this lesson. And so, well, you could be on lifetime, and it's typically 1 to 10. You could be on lifetime 9 of yours, right? Of your reoccurring soul lesson. And this is just for the soul lesson. There are many lifetimes. You've probably lived numerous lifetimes. And so you could be on lifetime 9, like you're about ready to graduate and ascend to the next tier of evolution and consciousness, whereas the person that you are comparing yourself to, they could be not at that level. They could be still a young soul learning the lessons, and that's why things just are coming easier. So I really want to eradicate this idea that if someone has something easier, it means that they know something you don't, or that they have overcome something that you haven't been able to. This is not the case. It's not the case, my friends. If you have more challenges in your life, it is most likely because you're an older soul. You are growing, you are learning the lessons, you are expanding to a deeper and greater consciousness. And in probably 5, 10, 20 years, those people that you are comparing yourselves to, they will most likely be looking up to you because of the work that you have done to get to the place where you become. Okay. So with all that being said, semi-related, very important though, very, very important. I want to share about, and it actually is related, about meditation versus presence. Because I feel like in the spiritual world, I feel like meditation is like the gateway drug. It is like the gateway drug to spirituality. People say, like, just start meditating and then you will be spiritual. You will be on the path. And when you meditate, you will begin to unlock all of these answers in your consciousness, and you will just access higher consciousness because you have sat down and closed your eyes. And if you just keep doing it, you'll become even more enlightened and more enlightened and more enlightened. I want to share something with you from someone who believed that very strongly. Very strongly. I had that belief that if I just do it enough times, enough days in a row, I will reach the level of whatever I had imagined for myself. I will get it. And here's the thing, I learned a lot through that, but I don't know that I got what I don't know that it was the desired outcome of my mind. Of course, it was the desired outcome of my soul, but it was not the desired outcome of my mind. So I'm just going to put that out there to begin. And what I really want to share is that I honestly just want to debunk meditation. Meditation is great. It can be great, but I don't think it's for everyone. I just don't think it's for everyone. And I sat my butt down every morning. I was told that spiritual people, high consciousness people, they get up at 4 a.m. High successful achieving people, they get up at 4 a.m. They meditate, sometimes for an hour. And because of that, they will be successful. They will be enlightened, and they will have the keys to the universe. That's what we're sold, right? So I got up every day, and I didn't get up at 4 a.m. But here's the thing. I got up every day though, for probably, I'm gonna say 3 years. I'm gonna say 3 years at least, every single day. I did not miss a day. Every single day, I would get up and I would meditate. And then I would do my whole morning routine. I still do my whole morning routine. But and now that I'm saying this, it might have even been like 4 or 5 years. Every single day I meditated. And while it looked a bit different, so when I got a red light, I would meditate in front of my red light, and then I got this other laser device and I would meditate in there. And then and sometimes I would just meditate when it was nice outside. I would go sit under the tree and I'd meditate there. But I always made sure it was first thing in the morning I would meditate. And then they also told me that you need to have a gratitude journal. You need to write down every morning then after you meditate the things that you're grateful for. And here's the thing, these aren't bad. They aren't bad. But when you're doing them for the sole purpose of what you think it's going to make you rather than like the pure enjoyment of it, if I'm being totally honest, I didn't super enjoy it. Now, was it good for me to train myself and to train my mind? Yes. It was good for me to train myself and to train my mind. But I want you to think of something. Think of it in this way. I started to realize that I want to have tools. I want to have tools in my tool belt that can help me in situations when I really need it. And I also want to have tools in my tool belt that help me with my clients. And I also want to have tools in my tool belt that help me with my life. And I also want to have tools in my tool belt that are universal with health, relationships, money, business. And I started looking at the ROI of everything I was doing. And I started weighing the ROI of meditation. And I realized when I'm in a stressful situation, I'm not gonna go from stressed to meditation. But what I can do in a stressful state, what I can do, and this is where I had my mind-blowing moment of realizing that when it comes to when it comes to the ROI of what I'm practicing and what I'm devoting myself to, because we all only have 24 hours in a day, what are we going to do and how are we going to spend them? What is something that I could do every day that would help me in high stress situations, that would help me with my clients, that would help me with my health, in my business, with money, with relationships, with friendships? And I realized that practicing presence would give me a far greater ROI. Because if I learn to have deep presence with any person that I am with, including myself, now I believe I begin to unlock really amazing secrets to the universe. Presence feels totally different to me than meditation. Presence, I can practice with another person. Presence, I can practice in a high stress situation. Presence is what has led me to really cultivating and amplifying my psychic gifts, my intuition, my ability to pierce past the facade, the noise, and to get clear guidance. And when I was just in meditation, my mind would go all sorts of places. And whether I was doing a guided meditation or I did guided meditations for probably, I want to say like a year or two. And then I did just silence for probably 2 years. And again, I feel like it was the gateway drug. It got me devoted. It got me devoted to a daily practice, which honestly though, like if you're a Virgo, like if you have Virgo in your chart, I'm Scorpio sun, but Virgo rising. So like for me if I implement something to my life, like you better believe I'm going to devote to it. Like I don't have a problem in devotion to things, but I want to make sure that what I'm devoting to is going to give me an ROI. That is going to enhance my life. Otherwise, I don't want to be wasting my time. I don't want to be wasting my precious energy. And so I'm not saying that meditation was a waste. It wasn't, because it led me to here. It led me to now. And I want to say that now they're very different to me. Not very, no, I don't want to say very different, but they are a different frequency. Now, could you practice presence during a meditation? Yes. Could you practice a meditation while in presence? I'm thinking this through as I'm saying it. Probably yes. But you're not going to go into a client session and go meditate. You're not going to go into an interaction with your friend and just meditate. You're not going to go on a date with your partner and just meditate. And well, you could do these things with your partner and your friends and your clients. What you could do the entire time, though, and some could call this a constant living in a constant meditation. I'm sure if you like that terminology. But for me, I started getting really intentional about practicing presence. Now, I have to say that I think that the main thing, not the main thing, but one of the biggest impetus that led me to begin to really look deeper into this was my deeper relationship or deeper yearning and desire of if I only have this much time in a day, I would love to be outside as much as possible. And so rather than sitting inside meditating, then I was like, oh, I could go outside. But then when it started to get colder and rainy, if you live in the Pacific Northwest, sure, I could bundle up. But you want to know what I realized I could do even that I enjoyed a bit more than that is I could go for a walk and I do this every morning. I go for a walk. My phone is on, I turn my phone on airplane mode before I go to sleep, and it stays on airplane mode until I'm done with my morning routine. And part of my morning routine is I go for a walk. And I go for a walk with, I don't listen to anything. And as I'm saying this, I guess you could call it a meditation, but I'm walking and I am practicing presence, presence with my body, presence with the pavement, presence with which street I feel intuitively called to go down, or whether I intuitively feel called to do the same one as I did yesterday, or to go a different route. As to what I feel drawn and called to look at, what the or rather leaves, abundance of leaves look like on the ground. What does my body feel like? What is it saying to me? What did I hear as I walked by? What was the sensation of that car driving by? What did I feel when I walked past that person? And then I always go to a park and I ground. I take my shoes off and I ground. And I always make sure it's next to a tree because trees give off a very powerful electromagnetic frequency. And so I always make sure it's a tree. And I do my energy clearing, my energy work, and then I place my hand upon the tree and I'm present with the tree and I just feel what the tree has to say. I thank the tree. I tell the tree I love it. I feel what the tree feels like against the palm of my hand. I feel what the earth feels like beneath my feet. I feel what it feels like to breathe in the earth into my feet and into my body and breathe it out through my crown. And then I feel what it feels like to breathe in through my crown and out through my feet. And then I feel the presence. I practice presence as I put my shoes back on and what that feels like in my body to go from being on the earth to being in shoes again, and what it feels like when it's so cold to put my hands in a fist and feel how cold my hands are as I'm walking back in the winter. And then I get back and then I get ready and I try to continue to bring this presence into all that I do. And it feels very different to me than just going and sitting and being quiet and closing my eyes. And I still do this when I go to nature as well. When I go to nature, I always make sure that I have like a 20-minute block where I will just go and I will sit in what I call presence. So, for example, the other day, it was raining and raining and raining. And I went to the river and after my walk, I just sat by the river and I just watched the rain ever so gently, ever so peacefully and purposefully just tap the water. And I just watched all of those raindrops just tapping the water. And the goal wasn't to meditate. The goal was to literally feel like it was just me and the water and the rain and the nature and the earth around me. That we were all breathing together. We were all coexisting together. And we were all just witnessing and being with each other. And there wasn't an agenda to the presence. My mind will continue to think of what is happening later. And then I ask, how can I just be here? How can I be with the water? How can I just watch the water? And I have in these moments profound realizations come through that I didn't necessarily have while meditating. I have messages come through when I ask and direct and put my focus upon being present with my higher self, being present with source, being present with the water. I often communicate with the water, ask questions of her, and I am so present with her that she gives me answers. And it feels like when I do these types of practicing my presence, this prepares me then to then be in conversations with people. I have to tell you, I was just voice noting with a friend yesterday, and she shared with me, you remember so many details about my life. It blows me away, the details you remember about me. And I really appreciated that. And I believe that is because I am so present with people. I when I'm with you, I want to be with you. I want to understand you. I want to feel what is going on in your, like, not just hear the words, but I want to feel them. I want to understand what is going on with you. I want to show up to you in the way that I want you to show up to me. And I'm not interested in relationships that we're just talking about the weather and we're talking about actually politics can be quite fascinating and interesting these days. So I'm open to that conversation. And but I want to be present for it. I want to feel how you feel about Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. I want to feel how you feel about the outcome. I want to, not in a way that I'm taking it on, because I used to do that, but I just want to be so present with anyone so that then, and as I'm saying this now too, this is also one of my gene keys. This is also presence is one of my gene keys. It is actually one of my very important gene keys that I've just put this together while I'm talking about this. This is my vocation. is either my vocation or yes, I believe it's my vocation. And this was when I remember having this realization that this is part of, if you have this gene key, part of this gift within this gene key is that people come to their own answers and realizations and solutions in your presence. And I have found that when I first started my practice and I first started my business and I was helping people and I just wanted to do so much to help them. I wanted to fix, I wanted to like give them everything I knew. I wanted to just pour out into them and show them and lead them and help them so much and give them all the resources that I knew I could grab. And people did have profound, real, transformations. But you want to know, when after doing this for about a year or two, and then I began to refine, I began to learn more. And the more I know, the less I do in sessions. The more I know, the less I do. Because what I started finding and remembering and really deeply knowing is that you have the answer within you. And when you discover your own answer and someone affirms that to you, someone holds the space, the presence with you in that awareness, something very transformative happens. It is a cellular recoding that takes place when you have an awareness and someone witnesses you with deep presence and intuitively confirms that awareness. This is why when people come to me and they have that happen, their lives completely change. They can have one session with me and their lives completely change. Because when someone holds presence for you, you have the space. You then have the presence within you to discover and unlock the answers within you. My job is never to heal someone. My job is to hold the presence for your body to heal itself. No one will heal you. Your body heals you. Someone is setting the presence, the stage, the environment for you to heal yourself. They may even give you a supplement. They may do something to your body, but always, 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 it is still your body doing the work. And when our bodies learn how to do the work and how to heal themselves, this is when our lives get really incredible. This is when our lives are really amazing. This is when we are limitless. Because you are designed to heal. You are designed and destined to find your soulmate. You are designed and destined to have the amount of wealth you desire. You are designed and destined to live out your life's work and your life's purpose. You're designed and destined to have anything that you want and genuinely want with your heart. You may have it and receive it. And the key, one of them, is following our present truth. And this becomes really important when it is only through presence that we can know our truth. Because if we are not present, we are going to default to the truth of yesterday, of last week, of last month, of last year, of last decade. But what was true for you now is probably not true for you right now. And therefore, you embrace the truth of right now. And then you have to be willing to completely let it go for the truth of tomorrow. And then the truth of the next day. Because each truth that you find within yourself, that you trust and become and begin to know within yourself through developing your intuition and through developing your presence. And these are really feedback loops. So you develop greater presence, your intuition will amplify and grow. And as your intuition amplifies and grows, you find that you can create and live in deeper presence. And so the more presence you have, the greater intuition you have. And as your intuition increases, the more you can cultivate and create and live into presence. And so as I go back to what is going to give you the greatest ROI in your life, we really have to get curious. And your time and your energy are the most important thing you have. And so if you are forcing yourself to meditate because you think it is spiritual, but it is not what you feel is leading you and guiding you to the kingdom within, then my friend, no one is holding you to it except for an external expectation that you have placed upon yourself. And you can let that go. I'm holding the presence and giving you the permission to let that go. To begin to experiment with what feels good for you and your body and your path. We think that there's so many things that we have to do, and we forget that ultimately no one can tell us what to do. It is only us, our soul, and God's source divine. And that is it. And all external noises and voices, we get to choose which ones we want to entertain and which ones we want to listen to and which ones we want to pursue. And let me tell you, I am only able to be so present with people because I don't entertain the relationships that are no longer in alignment. And that's a difficult thing. It's a difficult thing to let go of people in your life that once served and that once felt good. But you simply cannot have deep presence with tons of acquaintances that you do not feel connected to. And don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect either. I am absolutely not perfect either. I still have those times. It's always with like family, the things that trigger us. That it's just like all of a sudden we're like, wait, how was I so present? It's very easy to be present in nature. But this is what I'm talking about, that the more I cultivate it when it's easy, the more I strengthen it when it's easy, the easier it becomes when it's hard, right? And you're still going to have the hard times. You're still going to mess up. You're not supposed to get it perfect. None of us will. So don't have that expectation. But know that life is like it's like stair steps. So as you master the stair that you're on and having presence at that stair, most likely the next stair is going to be a little bit harder. And then as you master that, you will go up to the next stair, and then that stair is going to be a little bit harder. And then as you master that, you will go up to the next one. And that is the beautiful evolution of life. And you get to keep all of those stairs that you have walked up as an encoded energy within your body. An encoded remembering that now you hold that frequency of embodiment, and you can help others with that. You can help humanity with that. You get that skill set and that wisdom to help grow yourself and others and humanity in the collective. So the invitation, the question is, what practices then are you doing that are giving you a good ROI, that are leading you to become the vision and version that you want, and that anything you want and desire from your heart, you may have it. Anything. Anything. But beginning to practice this presence. And if you want to know if you have presence in your gene key chart, I am offering gene key readings. I am offering human design readings. I just have announced that. Both of the links for those will be below. I will say that when I learned about my gene keys and about my human design, it helped me understand how I operate and how I work in a way that has helped give me such a greater ROI on how I spend my time, on how I manage my energy, on what I pursue and what I don't pursue. These are really such incredible tools. And when you feel and sense and know that this wisdom is right for you and the timing is right for you and doing it with me is right for you, then you will know. And you can always reach out. What makes these reports very, very unique and special is that I'm not just telling you your chart. I'm not just reading you your chart. I've never seen anyone do this, by the way. I'm letting you ask any questions you want. And then I'm not only bringing forth the answer to those questions for you based on your chart, but I'm also going to tap in and bring forth some wisdom from your soul, some guidance from your higher self about how to move forward and how to really live in alignment with your highest soul's truth and evolution and growth. That is what these reports are designed to do, to totally transform your life and put you on, I'm not going to call it the easy, but I will call it the most rewarding and fulfilling trajectory to live. And there will be a lot more easefulness in there, but it will be so rewarding, so rewarding. And that's what we all desire, really, at the end of the day, is to live a life that feels deeply nourishing and satisfying and rewarding to our soul to live. So the links will be below for that. Of course, reach out also if you want deeper one-on-one support through cultivating any of this in your life. And with that, I'm just sending you all infinite love and light.